Joining us now, Harley Lippman, foreign policy analyst, and Robert Manis. He is a retired U.S. Air Force colonel. Harley, let me begin with you. We're approaching the 6-month mark. There's no end in sight. There don't appear to be any negotiations ongoing. So what's the next goal? What should we be aiming for?
This is a difficult period because this is where people get tired of the war and they don't want to hear about it. But what President Trump is doing is so important, and I really have to applaud his leadership. The truth is, freedom is not free, and if we have to pay a little less in the price of gas at the gas pump to ensure the safety of our children and grandchildren, it's obviously well worth the price. Remember, we have to remember why we're doing this and why we're here. And that is, no nation in American history has ever been more obsessed with destroying the United States than Iran. They call America the Great Satan. Listen to their words and believe them. So, and the goals of the president, our two goals, are really American goals and our goals for world peace. People shouldn't look at it as Republican or Trump. It would be sad and a disservice. The one is, you need to keep an international waterway open, freedom of navigation. Otherwise, the whole world could be held hostage.
Indeed.
The second, no nuclear weapons. You don't want nuclear proliferation.
For sure. Colonel, this has got to really get your goat. Let's talk about this $30,000 bounty. Iran's army chief reportedly even claiming that the weapon used to kill an American would be kept in some supposed museum they're currently planning. Is this more empty threats or by Iran's leaders? How seriously should this be taken?
Well, Iran has operatives all around the world, including in our own country. We know that. So, we have to take any threat like this seriously. But I'm not surprised. These people are despicable. They have no honor. They are liars. And they are cheaters. And they will do anything they can to further their goals from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, which is who really is in control of this country. I see media reporting about the Ayatollahs appointing this or that person. That's not really accurate, folks. The IRGC is telling the staff of this supposedly alive Ayatollah what to do, and they fulfill it. And I, too, think that President Trump, he has taken on the toughest job of an American president over the last 60 years, and he's the only one to do it, and that we should stay with him in this effort because the goal is so important. No nuclear weapons for a crazy, fanatical set of people that will use them not only on their own people if they had the chance, but their neighbors and on us and our allies.
Yeah, there's no one that we interview that says that the goal that the president has is the wrong one. I mean, everybody agrees that Iran should never have a nuclear weapon.
That's for sure.
And that it would just be a disaster worldwide if they did get that. But Iran just keeps on making threats. That wasn't the only one. This weekend, the head of the Parliamentary National Security and the Foreign Policy Commission wrote this. This is what it read. The U.S. president ought to worry about his own security rather than his endless bluffing regarding the Strait of Hormuz before he ends up hiding in a food truck. Well, you know what that was referring
to. Wow. That's a low blow.
Yeah. So, Harley, your reaction to this continuing, are they trying to just sort of, tweak Trump just to upset him even more?
Yes. They are really astute observers of the American scene, and the way they read the room is that they see Trump as weak and vulnerable. They want to humiliate him. They see that the war is unpopular in the United States, so they want to remind the American people as much as possible, up until the midterms, that this war is going on. They believe they're winning. And so, yes, and it's in their interest to have more military conflict for the reasons I just said.
Indeed. Colonel Manis, this all comes as President Trump is scaling back joint military exercises with South Korea. President posting on Truth Social, quote, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They said no thanks. What does this signal about our relations and what we need to be doing over there in South Korea?
Well, the president's applying a business principle to the situation. Look, the leadership of South Korea that's currently in office is leaning left as far as any South Korean leadership has ever leaned. And this president actually is taking advantage of one of their positions, which is to ease tensions between the North and South Korea based on what he sees as the appropriate steps to do that. And since he's the commander in chief, that's the message he's sending, is that he is wise enough to see that we have an opportunity to ease tensions between two mortal enemies where the United States has been engaged for many, many decades. And he himself has called many times to de-escalate the tensions there. So I'm not surprised by this. The message that this should send to people around the world, our allies, and to the American people is that this is not a president of war. This is a president of peace who tries to find every unique avenue to achieve peace while maintaining the strength of the United States.
Yeah, Harley, with that as a goal, we were negotiating, with the politicians. It seems like perhaps we needed to find somebody in the IRGC to be negotiating with. How do we do that? Because it doesn't appear that anything occurs unless they want it to.
Well, that's where they're playing America. They're all working on this together, good cop, bad cop. There's no such thing as we have to find that elusive IRGC leader and finally get that person to talk to us. They know exactly how to play the United States. They're master negotiators. What they don't win on the battlefield, they always win at the negotiating table. So at the end of the day, what this requires of this administration is resolve. Our enemies and our friends are looking at our capabilities and our determination. And we have to show both. It's boring, it's not sexy, but this is what will preserve peace in the world.
Indeed. Great stuff by both of you. Thanks so much, Harley Lippman, Robert Manis. Thank you.
Thank you.
New York Attorney General Letitia James, she went after President Trump, and now he is firing back, supporting a challenger. Why he says he has her complete and total endorsement, and what that means for New York State.
Plus, Michigan Congresswoman Haley Stevens may have lost her Senate primary election